Hello there, everyone. This is Ocean Giant Master, and this is my breakdown for Ahsoka Episode 6. This is spoiler warning, and this is only the stuff that I've myself had noticed. So first off, we learned that Yang not only teach the younglings how to make their lightsabers, but he was also a history teacher. Nice. Honestly, that's just funny in my opinion. It's nice to see that he has other uses. And on top of that, Hunig must have one heck of a memory system to have all that data. Like seriously, record of every lightsaber he's ever helped create with that he ever taught Jay to create a lot. That's he even taught Yoda himself how to make a lightsaber. So yeah, we found out that Ahsoka did not tell Hera about Sabine went willing with the others. Yeah, I can see that biting her in the back. And Hugh Yang saying a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away when he's starting to tell the story, I think that may be a reference to the fact that they're headed to a new galaxy. So that the galaxy that this story takes place in, which is the one that they're now leaving, that actually sounds really confusing, would be in a galaxy far, far away. Long time ago makes sense. We see when they arrive when Sabine, Baylan Skoll, Shin-Hati, and Morgan Elsbeth arrive at Peridia, we see what I can tell or from what I'm getting at, are ruins of the Star Destroyers. So this may be the ruins of a few of the Star Destroyers that the Poggle brought with alongside the one that Ezra and Thrawn were in, because there were more than one of those. We also find out the Poggle come here to die, so I think the Poggle who brought Ezra and Thrawn to Peridia, I think they may be dead. Rest in peace to them for their sacrifice of freeing Lothal. The Night Sisters, or the Night Mothers, are working, or the Grey Mothers are working with Thrawn. Yeah, we found out the Night Sisters weren't gonna be in this. There was a leak, or something one of the people said, so yeah. Not a lot of them though, which is good for the heroes. But still dangerous. I'm gonna put a side note here, but when they put Sabine in the cell, I was literally expecting Ezra to just come out of a ventilation shaft or something made from the ceiling somewhere and just uncuff her and get her out of there. Like, Ezra has so much experience with ventilation shafts and climbing around in them that that's what I was expecting. And I think Filoni knew this, so he made sure to put us in a false sense of, oh my gosh, Ezra's coming. And save it for later. Baylan Skoll refers to the fall of the Jedi and the rise of the Empire as an eternal cycle, which is true. It is an eternal cycle. It happens in the prequel trilogy, or happened before the sequels, in between the original trilogy and the sequels. It's happened throughout the Old Republic. It's just an eternal cycle. Thrawn's Star Destroyer, which is the one that we see come over where Morgan, Baylan, and Shin-Hati are, is actually called the Chimera, and the damage is done by it is obviously done from the Poggle. Like, Dan's having to rebuild some of that stuff, definitely from the Poggle or from the trip into hyperspace. Enoch is Thrawn's commander. Now, I thought that name was familiar. It may have been from some leaks or something that happened before the show came out. But when I looked up Enoch, all I saw was Ahsoka. In fact, he didn't even appear in Legend, so there's that. The Buckethead armor, i.e. Stormtroopers, we can tell they look damaged. Like, they have not been keeping with Imperial protocol, making it all look the same, because they've also painted the armor. Honestly, that's actually funny that they painted this. And it seems as though the Thrawn's bringing the Great Mothers with him. Yeah, this is not looking good for Ahsoka. I feel so bad. Thrawn's knowledge of Balin's skull. Now, this could come from two things. One, Thrawn in both canon and legends is an expert tactician. He studies art, the history, homeworlds, and background checks of his enemies, and sometimes even his allies too. So it could come from that, but after what I saw later on in the episode, it's still a possibility. But I think the second likely one is in one of the Thrawn novels. Thrawn, which in this novel takes place during the Clone Wars, he actually teams up with Anakin Skywalker and Padme Amidala. So maybe he learned it from there. It's possible, but not likely. Like, we don't know if something happened in between those moments in the book. Possible, but maybe it's the first one. The first line, the "you will not be the first" line that's Thrawn directs at Balin is actually an intentional reference. It's a reference, in fact, to Darth Vader being Anakin, because Thrawn was a master tactician. He was also very intelligent. In fact, it is believed that Thrawn knew Vader was Anakin. In fact, he was pretty certain of Anakin being Vader, just like Tarkin was. Now, Tarkin is a psychopath, but also intelligent. But his psychopathic nature also makes him very idiotic. But he was also pretty sure of Vader being Anakin. Anyways, continuing on, we never got to see Sabine just see the first look at the stormtroopers again. Like, I want to know what her reaction was when they came in to bring her out of her cell. Was it, oh great, bucketheads or something like that? I wanted to see some sass, some Sabine sass towards seeing bucketheads again. And apparently Thrawn was delayed to see Sabine. Honestly, I could see that because Thrawn loves collecting art. In fact, he had some of Sabine's artwork in the Chimera, in the finale. In fact, he also had it in season 3 as well. He uses that art to make tactics based on what each person would do. So yeah. I do not, however, I believe that, in fact, I am 99.99% sure that Ezra actually escaped Thrawn. After they landed on Peridia, he escaped, because I know there is no way Thrawn would have let him escape. He would have tried killing him. There's evidence to further display that later on in the episode, but yeah, there is no way. The only way I saw Ezra actually being alive at this point is if he actually escaped Thrawn. And it just once again shows Ezra's ability to completely humiliate the Imperial Navy and Army soldiers, because he has escaped from them in the past, and they underestimated him twice. Both times he escaped and it humiliated him. It is hilarious. So I have the headcanon that he escaped. Sabine continues to show that she knows that Ezra is fine. And this time, because this is something she did in Rebels. Like, she knew Ezra could take care of himself. And she even points back that if Thrawn's alive, then she knows that Ezra is okay. Because Ezra, for those of you who have not seen Rebels at all, go give it a watch, it's good. But Ezra survived alone on the streets of Lothal for basically the most part of 8 years. From the age of 7 till he was 15. Although, side note, he turned 15 about a month or so after meeting and joining the Ghost Crew. But still, basically 8 years on the streets of Lothal because his parents were captured by the Empire for speaking out against them. Yeah, see? Ezra's fine. Sabine gets her gear back, which, awesome. and it does go back later on. And it is revealed that Thrawn only lets Sabine leave so that way she could roll Ezra out so that way both of them get killed at once in one single move. That is a Thrawn move. That is something Thrawn would do. This is the man who predicted that the Hera would blow up her own house just to save her father. And she did that in season 3 of Rebels, or her house on Ryloth to be exact. Yeah, yeah, that part was honestly the scene with Chopper blowing up the house. I just think like her mother's ghost be like, Cham, Chopper and Hera blew up the house again. And side note, they never did that to be the first at all before that, as far as I'm aware. But I just would love that mental image of something like that happening. Anyways, continuing on. Sabine's lightsaber skills seem to have improved, so maybe the training that we saw in episode 3 paid off. The numbers have dwindled for the Imperials since they were in exile. Now, this is possibly from a combination of a few factors. One, possibly the bandits that we see. That is a good possibility. Second, I think Ezra killed a few. I am pretty sure Ezra killed a few. Maybe they sent some of them after him and Ezra just killed them. Some may have gone rogue. Maybe some of them became some of the bandits. Or by other means. I also think maybe some of them died. I mean, we know the Chimera didn't crash, so I don't know if anyone died like that. Thrawn seems to be thinking about betraying Shin Hati and Balin's skull. Maybe a chance for redemption there. Speaking of which, I think it will be in the next episode, or perhaps episode 8, who knows, that Ezra will meet Balin's skull and Shin Hati. And I think Ezra will be the one to reveal. It will be in that episode that it will be revealed that the lightsaber Shin Hati has been using was actually Kanan's lightsaber the entire time. Maybe Ezra will touch it and see force visions from back in his training with Kanan. Or maybe the crystal will call out to him. Or maybe Ezra will just be smart and thinking, hey, that looks like Kanan's lightsaber. And be like, if that's Kanan's lightsaber, I'm gonna whoop this woman's butt. Because Ezra has dabbled in the dark side. Anyway, Sabine calling him a coward, as in her saying that she should have known being a coward, maybe it's because they were being cared for by Imperials, and sometimes the Imperials do use cowardly tactics. Orbital bombardment, blowing up an entire planet. Let's see. Oh, I know. How about sending a bunch of people who you take their property from to a Tarkin town where they're living in poverty and have the possibility of dying of hunger and starvation, and possibly thirst. So yeah, cowards. The rock people have the starboard symbol, which is Sabine's symbol. Technically, it's the one that she designed for the rebellion. It's not the one that we see in her always painting with rebels, but it's still her symbol, which was used as a way for them to find Ezra, or what possibly Ezra did that so that way. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's the plan. I'm gonna give them all a symbol with the starboard on it, because I know that no matter how much Sabine changes her armor, she always has that symbol or a variant of that symbol on it. So if she has that symbol on it, they will point to it and lead her to me, which is very good. And Ezra making friends with the rock people? That's what I'm calling them. I don't know what they are. These are new species as far as I'm concerned. It's not even surprising to me. Honestly, I was laughing at it, but that's because I was laughing being like, oh my gosh, that's actually so like Ezra. Ezra has a great natural ability of connecting with living things. It's something that comes naturally for him. So, yeah, seeing that happen, not surprising. In retrospect, it's not surprising. So yeah, that was nice. The Vulcan Jedi is I think a reference to the Vulcan training sticks. I don't know for sure. Maybe it's a reference because of them having to be exiles after Order 66. The power greater than they know that Balin is talking about could be the Wakandans. The Wakandans were an advanced group of civilization way before the foundation of the Republic, even before the time of the High Republic or Old Republic. They basically enslaved a bunch of people. They used genetics to create some of the other humanoid species like Twi'leks and Torgudas. And eventually they dabbled too much in the dark side that their connection to the Force was destroyed. There was an uprising with the slaves, and they basically went into exile or extinction. We don't usually so we originally thought maybe out of they went to the unknown regions, but perhaps they went to this new galaxy somehow. But I do believe Balin School is being called. If the Wakandans are this greater force, they are calling to Balin. And then we get a reunion with Ezra Bridger. I was excited for this, and I was freaking out. And on a side note, Ezra, please, for the love of all the lost cats, just kiss Sabine. Please. Or Sabine kiss Ezra. One of the two, please. You are literally you're killing me here. Because I've been shipping these two together since Rebels, it was either season 1 or season 2. It may have been season 2, one of the episode 4 of season 2, episode 5 of season 2, always 2 they are. But if not, it was season 1. It was one of the two. So for the better part of, for well over half a decade. Probably around 7 years, I think. I don't know. But then, on top of that, what I've also wanted happened. He got a beard and mustache, and he looks great in it. It looks good on him. And he has his own rebel self. And on top of that, if you look closely, on his left cheek, when he turns his head so the left cheek is facing you right near his ear, but above the beard, you can see his twin scars. Those scars he was got in season 1, episode 15, Fire Across the Galaxy. Basically, him and Kanan were fighting the Grand Inquisitor. The Grand Inquisitor threw his spinning lightsaber. Ezra was able to block it with Kanan's lightsaber, but it wasn't fully able to block it, so it caused the twin scars on his cheek and tossed him over. Kanan thought he was dead. Embraced fully into the light, basically, and let go of all his fears. Went beast mode and caused the Grand Inquisitor to destroy the Grand Inquisitor's lightsaber. And Grand Inquisitor committed suicide by letting go of the ledge and falling into his death. Yeah. So that's basically what happened there. And Ezra would continue to have that scar all for the rest of his life now, because scars are permanent. And it was beautiful. That scar, still as good as I remember it. It was great to see that thing in live action as well. And then Thrawn, now going back to why I think why Thrawn got heard about Balin from Anakin, is because Thrawn wants, at the end of the episode, Thrawn says he wants information of Ahsoka. But he should already have at least some of that information, because he worked with Anakin. And in fact, he used Ahsoka's tactic, the Mark's Able, which she made in the Ryloth arc in season 1 of the Clone Wars. Basically, you would tilt the Venator so that way the bottom of the ship would be facing all the fire. That would protect the command center. Then you could use fighters from the side hangar base and surround them. In fact, he would eventually use that he heard of that from Anakin himself, and then he would use it later on in his career. Although it's possible, so he knows about her master, so he shouldn't need that. Homeworld, yes. Some of the background, yes, but I feel like he would know some of this stuff. I think he just wants everything he can, just in case. he missed something. Who knows? But I do believe Thrawn is at least familiar with some of Ahsoka's stuff. Anyways, that will be all. That's all I can think about. I am excited to see where this goes, and I hope my theory about Shin Hati having Kaden's lightsaber is true, and that she just did some modifications to it, heavy modifications, along with changing the crystals, the lightsaber's color, is true. Because imagine this, Jason is Force sensitive, we can tell that. So what if Ezra trains Jason, but gives Jason his father's lightsaber? I mean, he has the pauldron that's basically in honor of his father. It's not the same one, but imagine the same lightsaber. That's a connection. It would probably help with a bigger connection to Kanan. Anyways, that's all. See you later.